Welcome back to the channel. In today's episode, an unexpected twist occurs when Chien, Tien's ex-husband, suddenly returns with a new sinister plot. His appearance not only disrupts the peaceful life, but also puts the relationship between Ljac and Tien in a big storm. Is love strong enough to overcome doubts? Let's follow the dramatic story right after this. On the quiet country road, after leaving the grocery store where he had just unexpectedly met Chien walked slowly, the sunlight slanting through the trees, casting his shadow long and drawn out on the uneven ground. Chien kept muttering like someone lost in illusion. I didn't expect Tien to be so pretty now, when she was with me. She always looked sloppy, her hair was messy, her clothes were wrinkled, she smelled bad, I didn't even want to hug her. But now, oh my god. She's fair-skinned, neat, her face is bright, and she speaks softly, it's like she's turned into a different person. He licked his lips lightly. His eyes flashed with undisguised desire. In Chien's mind at this moment, the memories of the past were no longer the days when he had made Tien miserable, but only the image of an old woman who used to be his, now making him feel regretful. Feeling lost, as if the treasure in his hand that he had accidentally thrown away was now picked up and cherished by someone else. That distorted thinking made Chien's heart rise with the intention, must go back, asterisk. Returning to the wooden house where he was staying with a friend, Chien walked inside, calling out loudly, "Mom, I'm back." Mrs. Chien's mother, was sitting in the corner of the house picking vegetables, looking up at her son. Her face was still marked by time, hardship and wind, but her eyes were always sharp, especially when it came to calculations. Chien sat down heavily on a rickety plastic chair, sighing, "Mom, I'm thinking, should I go back to Tien?" Mrs. narrowed her eyes, almost dropping the basket of vegetables in her hand. Are you crazy? Now that she has Ljac by her side, handsome, rich, and kind, why would she come back to you? She's not stupid. Chien curled his lips and smiled faintly. Who knows? In the past, she loved you so much that she threw away all her pride. Now, who knows, maybe she still has feelings? Besides, I saw the way she looked at you today, it wasn't the cold and decisive type. She still had some hesitation. Mrs. waved her hand. Gosh, you're really delusional. You made her suffer in every way. Neglected her, scolded her, threw things, and kicked her out of the house. When she had a miscarriage, you were still drunk at the bar. Now she'd have to be crazy to come back to you. Chien was silent, but his face still showed no sign of regret. On the contrary, his eyes flashed with more and more calculation. But I don't want to miss this opportunity. What if she still has feelings? And if not, at least, I can find a way to approach her. Maybe I can make Ljac misunderstand. There's a way to do everything. Mrs. glanced, then nodded slightly after a few seconds of thinking. She understood her son, he had no ability. No one wanted him, but he was full of tricks. She hissed softly, it's best not to waste your time trying to hold on to him. A person like him has changed his life. He only looks forward, but if you can approach him, get close to him, then you have to think about something bigger. I'm telling you the truth. Cheating Jac's money is the smartest thing. You just find a way to dig up dirt. Create a sad scenario, reenact the past, express remorse, then think about it. If Ljac loses his guard, you can make money? Chien smiled wryly, nodded. Cheating money is still cheating. I won't give up, but I will still meet Tien to talk about the past. Anyway, my story with her is still unfinished. Outside the porch, the late afternoon sunlight shone in streaks of cold yellow. The wind blew through the cracks in the door, gently shaking the old, torn curtains, like a quiet omen for the schemes that were about to begin. It's unclear where things will go, but in Chien's heart, the desire to possess and blind greed have begun to grow, ready to drag him into a new vortex of calculation and lies. A new day begins at Ljac Construction Company, known as the heart of quality and sustainable projects. The morning sunlight filters through the large glass windows, reflecting gently on the shiny floor, making the working space brighter and more modern. In the spacious ground floor office, the clacking sound of printers resounds regularly, mixed with the sound of typing on keyboards, ringing phones and bustling work exchanges between departments. In the administrative area, a group of employees are attentively arranging project documents under the direction of the planning department. Detailed technical drawings, price lists, and legal documents are classified, carefully bound, and clearly color-coded before being transferred to the digital archive. The working atmosphere is urgent but still orderly. Everyone is highly focused, because every detail in the documents directly affects the construction progress on the construction site. On the second floor, where the director's office was located, Ljac was sitting quietly in front of a large, shiny rosewood desk. He was wearing a white shirt, his sleeves rolled up to his elbows, his eyes focused on the project contract that had just been signed last weekend. Next to him was a stack of opened documents, with colorful sticky notes pinned to them. It was a project to renovate a suburban housing area, considered a key point of this quarter. Ljac slowly flipped through each page, checking each clause. His sharp eyes seemed to be examining every smallest detail. Suddenly, his eyebrows furrowed slightly. There were a few items in the design that he considered not really reasonable, especially in the foundation treatment and drainage system. With decades of experience in the industry, Ljac knew that if he did not discuss carefully with the investor, even a small mistake could affect the quality and reputation of the company. Without delay, he rang the bell to call softly. A moment later, the personal secretary, Tien, walked in, holding an iPad and a notebook. Ljac looked up, his voice calm but firm. "Tien, please call the project owner for me. Schedule a meeting with them in person, as soon as possible. I want to discuss some details in the design." Tien nodded, quickly operated on the tablet, checked the partner's schedule and started making the call. Meanwhile, Ljac returned to the computer screen, opened more files related to the construction engineering section to prepare for the discussion. Outside, the technical staff, architects, accountants and the consulting team were still rushing to work on a new day like any other day, but for each person, they understood that a perfect plan today is the premise for a solid project tomorrow. The atmosphere in Ljac's company is always like that, professional, focused, but still maintaining the solidarity and sense of responsibility between everyone. And Ljac, the leader who is always perfectionist and alert, still silently bears the greatest pressure every day to ensure that every brick and every concrete slab built is worthy of the word, reputation, that he has built over time. At a quiet coffee shop in the city center, Ljac chose a table near the window, where there was soft natural light and enough privacy to discuss work. In front of him were clear, color-printed technical drawings, along with some cost estimates. His partner, the chief engineer of the investment unit, Mr. Lam, had just arrived and quickly shook hands and sat down opposite, holding a thick file in his hand. Ljac opened the meeting in a calm but to the point tone. "I have reviewed all the foundation design documents. There are a few points that are not suitable for the geological characteristics of the area, especially at lots D7 and D8 weak soil, high subsidence. If the current single foundation structure is maintained, the risk of cracking the structure is very high." Mr. Lam nodded, took a pen to mark the drawing, then pondered for a moment and replied, "I noticed that too. My side is calculating to upgrade from a single foundation to a long strip foundation, with a pre-stressed centrifugal pile solution at key locations to increase stability. The problem is that the cost will increase by about 12 to 15%. Ljac frowned. If not handled thoroughly from the beginning, the maintenance cost will double later. Moreover, the surface drainage system also needs to be adjusted. The old design did not take into account the natural slope, leading to the possibility of water stagnation after rain. The two continued to discuss in more depth about the underground electrical system, internal infrastructure, and technical area layout. Ljac pointed to the blueprint. The management building should be set back to the north, avoiding direct sunlight and facilitating internal traffic. The current fire protection system is still not guaranteed. There is a lack of automatic sprinklers in the material storage area, and there is no second escape route according to standards. Mr. Lam agreed and quickly noted down the points that needed to be revised. After more than an hour of discussion, the two sides reached an agreement, updating the technical documents, adjusting the foundation structure and auxiliary infrastructure system, and adding details on the basement waterproofing solution. The meeting ended with a firm, professional handshake. Both sides understood that careful planning from the beginning is an important foundation for a solid project, not only in terms of technology but also in terms of long-term reputation.